Hello, everybody. This is Armando Lara and my wife, Delmi Kimbro. Today, I decided to record this principle because I want to be able to identify with some of you guys in the area of Africa, but I will also be sending this message to a couple of contacts in Pakistan as well as India. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for number one, to identify with you on what we are aiming to do as a general vision. I would like you to start bring a piece of paper and something to write with, because I want to revisit the vision of transformations, but I want to take it one step at a time. I want to describe also the process of transformations because some of you, like Mumbawa in South Africa, Mumbawa is already working in farming. He has he's raising some chicken, and he's also tilting the land, cultivating the land with vegetables. We also have Simon Kizito in Kapeka, Uganda, who's also using the principles or applying the principles of transformations. Cecilia and Vincent, who are in Kenya, are is a couple who also are working with transformations, and they're seeing the results of these principles at work. Has it been easy? No, it hasn't been easy. For example, we have Ospin in El Congo. Ospin is a great leader who wants he wants El Congo, the people from El Congo, to experience not only the presence of God, but the kingdom of God as well. And for that reason, I began to revisit you guys. And I'll give you the list of the names of the people who have been involved in the process of transformations. And we have seen results because the principles are based in the Bible. They're biblical principles. And the project we have is duplicable, and is easy. It's so easy that sometimes people say, hey, this is being I know these principles. I it's they're in the Bible, yes, but we don't use it constantly, and many times we are not patient enough to continue cultivating what I call the kingdom culture, And today I want to revisit our vision, and I'm going to tell you also where we are heading to, including some experiences that we have with transformations this past year. And lastly, I'm going to invite you to interact with us. You are in a group, in a WhatsApp group, and in it you can write your questions, you can write your comments, you can write your testimonies about the concept of transformations. Don't want to go in different routes, but stay focused in the process of transformations with questions like, what is it? How does it work? Why do I need it? Does it apply to me? And let me start from the beginning. Then I'm not from the beginning, but let me process this kind of thoughts, this mindset. Okay, I want you to start thinking as I'm in your house, I'm with you, and as I'm speaking, you have questions. Then you write them down, and then you can let me know the questions and comments. They are very important for us because it helps us to grow. Very well. When we talk about transformations, it's we need to go by definition. At this time, I'm not going to go by definition, but essentially is changing the one point of our being into something else. In other words, is the process of the metamorpho or the metamorphosis, the change that the butterflies go by or go through, the process that the butterflies go through, metamorphosis. And you can find that concept in the book of Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2, when it says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's what Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2 tells us. The name of our let's move from the basic. The name of our ministry in Los Angeles, California is Community Impact Ministries. Community Impact Ministries. We are a 501c3 corporation, faith-based nonprofit corporation. That's the name of the licensed. We are registered as ministers here in Los Angeles, California. And we are in association with Lared, 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 which is a movement of entrepreneurs around the world that came out of Ohio. Okay, so that's who we are. So as you hear, for example, these meetings about transformations, you will hear names like Lared International. You will hear names as The Reckoning, and you will hear ministries from Latin America also who can come and talk with you in these meetings. I am settled to meet with you guys every Thursday at 3 p.m. East Africa time. Every Thursday, 3 p.m. East Africa time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be placing this recording on in the WhatsApp group, but I will send it to you individually as well. Now, the ideal is that because you receive it individually, you will respond to us, at least a comment like, well, I don't understand this thing. I don't think this works for me, or what I need is money, or what I need is food, something like that. That's the ideal, that you would interact with us. Or, yes, it's exciting. This subject of transformations is exciting. At this time, I don't have a way to do it on a weekly basis, but, explaining something. And that's why I'm approaching you in this way. That's why I decided to have this recording for you, for the people who have said that they want to change. Before I continue, I need to ask you to forgive me for not being on time today in the meeting. I couldn't connect because we are facing some challenges at home, and I didn't hear my alarm clock. So please forgive me. And that's why I couldn't meet with you today, Thursday. But I also knew that some of you guys were busy in other areas. Now, again, the ideal is that you make the time on every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, East Africa time, to meet with us in a separate time, like you are going to be studying, you're going to be interacting, because what we're aiming with this training is to have interaction with whomever is online. We ask questions, you guys respond, we make statements, you guys give us your comments, your opinion, your personal experiences. All these things go through as we interact. Okay, so transformations then, that the way that we train it is four facets of transformations. And we have a video that explains to you the different facets, okay? Today, we're going to talk about a principle that I believe is important. And why do we go through these principles? Because these principles is like the water in our faith, like the word of God in our faith. For example, Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turns away wrath. If you want to get better in life, you need to understand from now, if you haven't heard or you haven't noticed, that you will have confrontation. You will have confrontation. And if you haven't had it, well, my friend, you're in this world, you will have some type of confrontation. Now, how you confront that situation is going to be up to you. So the ideal is that we recognize the confrontation. We need to understand confrontation is good. Is it write down somewhere? Without confrontation, there is no growth. Without confrontation, there is no growth. As simple as that it takes. An example is the following. If you have the seed that you sow on the ground so you can have a crop, for example, or you can have some vegetables, when you put the seed on the field, on the ground, that seed needs to break. What is inside of that seed needs to break through from whatever is around it, including itself, the ground, and then anything else that is on top of it. So therefore, if the seed does not die, like the Bible says in the book of John, unless the seed falls to the ground and dies, it will not bear fruit. Okay, my friends, confrontation is like that. So in this principle, I'm going to take about 10 more minutes of your time because I took more time to describe what we're heading with this, what's the objective of this tape today, of this recording. But let's go back here to confrontation. Look what Proverbs 15:1 says, and you can read it on the screen as well as you can hear this message. A soft answer turns away wrath. A soft answer turns away wrath. Very well. And as we go through these principles, you will be receiving this document, or the document with the title like this on the screen. You can see the whole sheet, the whole document, and there is the title on top, and there is where it comes from, the concept where it comes from, and then the columns tells us about what the subject is about, so we can read through it. And then there on the right side, on the third column on your right side, you have a thoughts to ponder. What we're going to give you in every class or in every principle, something to think about. Like in this case, it says the best way to win is to forget to keep the score. The best way to win is to forget to keep the score. In other words, when you get to win, you have to continue moving. If you are playing basketball, you know that for each basket, or the baskets, the points are scored by 1, 2, and 3 points, right? Or even 4 points in the present time. You shoot one basket, and then somebody falls you, and then the ball goes in. You got 3 points plus 1. In other words, that's the score. This saying is, in order for you to win, you have to continue moving forward. Yeah, you have 100 points. Aim to have 101. It's pretty much like evangelism, if I can say it in terms of ministers and for churches. If you evangelize one person, he accepted his life to Jesus, and then he's going to your church. Okay, you scored. But what about the rest of the people? So the best way for you to win, to continue winning souls, is you don't keep the score. Oh yeah, I'm teaching 100 people. Well, look to teach 101. That's what it's saying. The best way to win is to forget to keep the score. All right. So I'm describing the principle as you have received a copy of it, I'm pretty sure. And now on the right side also, it tells you to evaluate yourself from 1 to 10, according to, and I'm explaining the lesson, okay? As you read through these columns, you have to start thinking, how do I confront the situations in my life? From 1 to 10, well, when people do what I don't like, I just get upset with them. Well, that would be a number one, buddy. That would be a number one because you're getting upset with people, but at least you're being honest with yourself. Because look at the next question. Let me enlarge that part for a few seconds. I'm describing before I go into the reading, okay? And on the screen, you can read. Hopefully you can, yes. I'm enlarging it as much as I can. You are evaluating yourself, right? With the lesson that you're reading. Why did you give yourself this writing? Then you get to explain the reason why. Like in the example I gave, well, when people talk to me the way that I don't like it, I get upset with them. So that's why I have a 1. Or I don't like people. That's another low score, okay? The next question is, what benefits will you obtain by raising your ratings? What benefits will you obtain by raising your ratings? Your rating. Think about it for a moment. If you continue being upset and uncomfortable with people, what do you think you're gonna get? What is the result you're gonna have at the end of 3 months or 1 month or 2 days that you continue being upset with people or being careless about people? You will continue having the same results, correct? Okay. These lessons are designed for me, the reader, to think about what I'm reading and how I'm going to improve in my daily life. In my daily life. All right. One of the challenges we have with Christianity in the present time, 2025, is that we know a lot of the Bible. We have read the Bible throughout the year for at least 3 times, some people say, but we are not living the principles that we are reading about because they haven't thought about these questions. How am I applying this to my daily life? What benefits will I obtain by raising my rating? Well, let's take the opposite. If I'm treating people well, if I'm dedicating my time to help them to improve in their areas of their lives, like in transformations, if I get to do that, well, what will I obtain? I will obtain more freedom to speak with them. I will get the pleasure of seeing them growth. Okay. The next question is, what specific action can you put into practice to test the benefits of this principle? What specific action can you put into practice to test the benefits of this principle? And then you write this down. It's like a devotional. For some of you who go to church, these principles you need to teach them, to train them, to receive them as a devotional in which you make the time to go through the subject, to understand the description, and then you go through the questions. And the next question is, check or the next principle is check the list for the daily reading of this principle. Would you read at least two or three times this principle for the next week? The ideal is that you say yes. Why? Because there is always, I don't know about you, but in my life, there is always room to grow. I want to grow. So I need to check or to read or to understand the principle that I'm going through so that I can live it. It's funny as I'm thinking about this because I got enrolled with as an example of the importance of being dedicated to our personal growth. As an example of that, I got enrolled in a school of interpretation because I'm bilingual and I want uh, to translate better, to be more eloquent and to speak better English and have a better communication in both languages. Well, part of the training that I'm receiving is that I have to be specific on the follow-up of the lessons. And my friend, I gotta tell you, there's some words and meanings that I'm learning that I had never heard before. But if I don't practice them, and if I don't understand what the meaning of the principle of the words, then I'm gonna be lost in the translation. So that's an example I'm giving you about the importance of following the instructions that are on this particular document that I'm sending you today. So saying that, we're going to then to read through the message about what confrontation is according to these notes. And these notes or these documents were prepared by John Schrock, who had a movement of entrepreneurs in Ohio. I had the privilege of meeting with them. My wife and I, we have the privilege of meeting with them last year. Okay, let's come to the subject, to the reading. And what I'll do is, to respect your time, I'm going to read through it. But remember, this is part of the homework. As I'm reading, and you're reading also from the screen, make note of the statements that call your attention. Make note of the statements that call your attention, right? Because at the end of the session, you can write to us why it called your attention and what is its application. Or, is this in the Bible? Ask a question. Or where can I find this principle in the Bible? Or I'm not understanding this. That would be the ideal. So please, I'm asking you again to interact with us, to connect with us. I know this is a recording, but assume that I'm in front of you having a cup of coffee with you, okay? All right. I'm reading. When we are confronted by someone, our natural tendencies are to get defensive and argumentative. It's because we don't want to be proven wrong. To be wrong is considering humbling. To be wrong is considered humbling, and it hurts our pride. Well, I would be like this. An example of this lesson is I would write down, to be wrong is considered humbling and it hurts our pride. I would make it will hurt my pride. Because sometimes people talk to me and I start being defensive and argumentative. Yeah, it happens to me, may not happen to you guys, but I don't walk in the water on the water yet. So continue reading. So we defend our position, even when we know we're wrong or have exaggerated the truth. No one is always right in every situation, yet all of us are usually partly right. It is this partly right, quote unquote, which gets us into trouble. And here is the reason why. Number one, since we know we are at least partly right, we open our mouth and freely give our opinions. Since we know we are at least partly right, we open our mouth and freely give our opinions. Sometimes we get into trouble. Number two, once we have spoken our opinion, we are committed to defend our position. It is not easy to admit that we're wrong. And my friend, if you live in this world and you're hearing this teaching on right now, it's because you are alive in this world. And this can affect you as well. Once we have spoken our opinions, we are committed to defend our position. It's not easy to admit that we're wrong. This is how many times I can get into trouble because I get to lie. And lying is not of God. God says that 6 things I hate and yet 7. And one of them is lying. Yeah. If I'm not careful, if I'm not alert, I have the tendency of exaggerating the truth. It can happen to many of us. I continue reading. We cannot have good communication without good relationships. Good relationships give us the right to communicate our opinion without conflict. Poor communication destroys relationships, wastes a lot of time and energy, and it hinders us in resolving problems. Yes, we may win the argument, but lose the battle or the point we were trying to make, and possibly lose a friend in the process. In the process of transformations, let me make a quick comment. In the process of transformations, you will see that we are challenged to communicate better and to make friends, because we're imitating Jesus. And Jesus said, there is no greater love than the friend lay down his life for his friend. That's how I met my wife. She was willing to put her life on my behalf. Yes. So in the process of transformations, we go by this principle to make friends. So when we are confronting a situation, we have to be able to learn to communicate. Continue reading. When we have disagreements, which we all have, it is not only important to agree with the adversary quickly, according to Matthew 5:25. I'll repeat it. When we have disagreements, which we all have, it is not only important to agree with the adversary quickly, but equally important to manage and control the tone of our voice. A soft answer turns away wrath. When a response is soft and gentle, or our opponents will respect us and consider our opinion. Yeah, that's one of the great things about learning how to communicate. They will respect our point of view. This gives us a chance to continue the discussion. It is amazing how powerful words are in the hands of those who know how to use them. The words, I'm sorry, are powerful. But when they come from a soft, sensitive tongue, they are disarming. A soft, slow answer is more powerful than thanks and guns. Okay. I'm just going to read one more questions. There are 3 questions. I'm only going to read one, and then we're going to end the recording. But remember to get in touch with us. You can write through WhatsApp, or you can send us an email. There are 3 questions we should ask ourselves before we get into a debate. How enlightened am I on the subject? In other words, how much do I know about the subject? And here is a suggestion. Don't show a boastful, overconfident attitude, but rather downplay your knowledge, and maybe they will be surprised. As I finish in a few seconds this recording, I'm going to send you the document again. I'm pretty sure I did it. I sent it to you through WhatsApp, but I will send it again so that you can follow through, but also you can finish the rest of the reading, okay? But I like this number one. Before we get into a debate, let's ask ourselves, how enlightened am I on the subject? How much do I know about the subject that I want to give my opinion about? But if you have a lot of knowledge, here it is. Here is a suggestion. Don't show a boastful, overconfident attitude, but rather downplay your knowledge, and maybe they will be surprised. And maybe you will be surprised at how well you're communicating what you want to communicate. And hey, why not make a friend or reconcile with a friend or reconcile with your family, and the list goes on. My friend, thank you so much for being patient with me in this process of transformations in South Africa. And I really hope that we all can make the time to be together every Thursday at 3 p.m. East Africa time. I think it's about 4 a.m. Los Angeles. Hallelujah. I will find out, but I think the time is quite different. But Thursdays, 3 p.m. East Africa time. Remember, the subject is confrontation. Confrontation. A soft answer turns away wrath. A soft answer turns away wrath. Proverbs 15:1. Thank you for being with us. This is your friend Charlie Lara and my wife Delmi. And remember, we are with Community Impact Ministries in Los Angeles, California. Community Impact Ministries, and associated with Lared, 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 and The Reckoning. There is my wife. Here's my wife, Delmi, saying hello to everybody in East Africa. And I'm going to say the names, okay? Amit in India, Niraj in Mahu in Pakistan. We have Mumbawa in South Africa. We also have Edith. Edith, they work in the farms. We have Alspin in El Congo.
Yes.
We have, remember Alspin? Alspin always trying to speak with us. We have Simon Quisito, his wife Harriet, Cecilia and her husband Vincent. We have Rogers. We have Joffrey. We have Betty. I don't remember. I don't forget Betty and Kalemba, as well as there is one more, Sylvia is another one who they received the training in with Azola, and we are so proud of them. So, honey, I love you. You look lovely.
Thank you.
This is my wife, Delmi.
Hi,
Say hello to everybody.
I know some of you, but I haven't seen your, like in the video, seen pictures. So hi, this is me.
Thank you, guys.
I am Mimi.
Yes, she's Mimi. And please continue praying for us. We love you all. God bless you. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.